Hello, hello. This might be a very special 300 subscriber episode. That's 100. That is a 300% performance improvement over March of this year. And I don't even think Bitcoin has that kind of performance. Anyway, the X300 is out of commission because my battery died. It just was working fine, and then it sat for 2 weeks because it's kind of dry out. I didn't mow. And I go to start it, and it's dead. Dead. It could only produce 10.5 volts, so I think it's got a bad cell in the battery. It should be producing 12.6 volts. So each cell is like 2.1 volts or something like that. And yeah, must be a cell went bad, which is kind of a shame because it was an interstate battery, only 2 years old, but I'll get it sorted out. No big deal there. Anyway, while it's out of commission, I've decided to go ahead and do something I shamefully admit I haven't done, and that's sharpen my mower blades. They weren't too bad when I got the tractor, but they're not that great. They're not beat up too bad, but that edge isn't very sharp. The clippings are kind of shattered on the ends, kind of splintered. So I thought I'd take a minute or a day and try to clean these up a little bit and see what I can do. And I have never really sharpened blades before. I've used a flat file, tried to clean up the edges, and probably have gotten mediocre performance from that. So I decided to do something a little different. I'm going to go ahead and try this little tool here. It's supposed to be a grinding stone with a correct angle on it. It looks close, and then it's got a little balancer in there too. Got it for about $8 at the local big box store. So we'll give this a shot. There's no instructions. I assume I just chuck it in my drill and attempt to sharpen the blade, and then probably at the end of the day I give up and buy new blades. Okay, so what I got is this STENS tool. Not a sponsor, does not support my channel. Nobody supports my channel except me. So let's open this guy up. As usual, let's struggle. Okay, so we got the stone here, which looks like it's a guide. I imagine it just kind of sits on the blade like this and sharpens. Also does not appear to match the angle of my blade. Actually, it almost looks like there's two different angles here. It could be an optical illusion, but almost looks like there's two angles there. Well, I'll figure it out. And then we got this little balancer. It's kind of a cute little thing. Kind of looks like a bobblehead dash ornament. I guess we can just kind of set that up there. Actually, let's see where the blade's at now. It's not that bad, really. So when I'm done sharpening that, we'll give that another shot. So I got my drill here. Go ahead and chuck this guy in. Oh yeah. It doesn't run true at all. It's yeah. This is really out of center. I'm glad it was only $8. Got the blade clamped in the vise. I'm going to go ahead and run along this edge. Hopefully you can see it okay. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. I'm sure the camera, because this is a mediocre camera, is fixed on that wall back there, so if this looks blurry, I apologize, but I'll do the best I can here. All right, so what I'm learning so far is ignore this guide and just try to get it as flush as you can. I'm wondering if some lubricant on here would be better. But anyway, it's kind of working. Very gentle pressure. If you don't give it gentle pressure, it gets all grabby, like that. Use very easy, deliberate movements, and it should be okay. So I'm going to try a few more minutes, and then I'll try some lube, maybe some WD-40 or something. Oh, the stone has already become unscrewed. Oh, I see. So you can back this screw out and then rotate it. When this edge gets worn, you start using that edge. Okay. So that means, so I'm running the drill in reverse. I need to run it in forward. Didn't realize I was doing that. Okay, now we'll try again. Got it in forward. It should tend to tighten the screw, not loosen it. And who knows, maybe the way the stone is made, maybe it'll behave better. It's actually putting an edge on it. I'm going to try a little bit of WD-40. That's a lot better with a little lube. So what I'm learning so far is 1, lube. 2, you can use the guide. You put a little pressure against the guide until you get a comfortable amount of drag on the stone, and just gently go back and forth. I moved my drill to low speed, and that seemed to help keep it from jumping around. So I'm gonna slowly keep at it here and see what we come up with. Okay, here's where I'm at with this thing. I've worked on this edge for several minutes, and it is kind of making a nice sharp edge on it. But I think I'm at a point where I'm not getting a return on this. So it's making a decent edge along here, but when I get to the tip, when I get to the end, it really wants to chatter. So I think I'm going to have to clean this up with a file. So overall, I would say it works, but I don't know if it's worth the effort. If you're really handy with a file, you could probably do as good or better job. If you're good with a bench grinder, that would absolutely do a better job. One thing I'm wondering is, this is a genuine John Deere blade, and I'm wondering if it's really hard and it's just too much for this tool. Maybe a cheap stamped blade, maybe it would work just fine. But this is a thick, hard blade, and it probably needs a real grinder on it. So I guess my advice is, if you're handy with those things, just do it the way that you're comfortable with. If you're not handy with that stuff, maybe just take it to a professional and have your blade sharpened. I know my dealer in town will do it. I've never had them do that before, so I might drop a blade off there and see what they say. I can do that when I get a new battery. Just say, hey, sharpen these blades and see what they come up with. But, you know, overall for $8, I guess it was worth a shot. It's not too bad. Maybe if you've got good finesse with a drill and a stone, lose this guard and just use this edge here and clean your blade up. I really need to run a file across the bottom edge too. It's polished a little bit from the plastic guard, but it could use some sharpening. There's still some chips in it, and it does feel sharper than it did when I started, but it's really not that great. Without lots of lube, it really wants to chatter. So I'm going to keep at it here with a file. I'll touch this up with a file, and then I'll do the other side with the stone, and I'll just keep going and see what I come up with. Okay, so on to the balancer. What I found right away is that it does not work very well for my blades. There are all sorts of pilots on this balancer, and none of them fit my blade very well. Your results may vary, but for me, not that great. I managed to get it on there the best I could, just eyeballing it and getting it centered on the little spindle thing here. And overall, my blade's pretty good. I'm not even going to mess with it. So even the manual, the John Deere manual for my tractor says something like, put a nail or a screw on a vise and then hang the blade off that and do the balancing that way. And that's probably a good way to do it. I guess this balancer works okay if you don't have a vise, but for my blades it wasn't optimal. All right, so I finished both sides of the blade, and this side, this is the second edge I've done, and what I found was this side was worse than the first side. I went ahead and touched it up first with the file and then ran the stone across it for a while. It does put a really nice finish on it all the way across the face, and it looks real good. It's quite a bit sharper, but I think what's going on here is I think this tool is better if you want to just freshen up your blades a couple times a season. If you're one of these meticulous homeowners that likes to work on the mower, likes to work on the blades, I think this little tool would be pretty good. So overall, does this thing work? Yeah, it works. Does it work great? No, it's not that great. Again, if you just want to freshen up your blades once in a while, I think it's fine. Like I said, it does put a nice finish on the blade. But if you've got lots of dents, divots, if the tips are worn real bad, you got to take a lot of metal off. And you're going to be using this thing all day to take that much metal off. So my advice is use a bench grinder or take it to a pro if you know somebody. So yeah, overall that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video useful.